he claims it's, India's making a big deal of it.
I think there are some other very important concerns here that we need to bring into the context here, and more about the Hambantota port also. We all know that the port has been leased to the Chinese in 2017 for 99 years. But
Yeah.
there's something that has happened in Sri Lanka since June. So there's a committee called COPE. It had a live interaction with the Sri Lankan port, the Hambantota Port Authority, and they found that the lease money of $1.2 billion that was paid. And it was done at that point of time because they said that they want to be able to service loan to the Chinese. So they were leasing the port to the Chinese. But then this committee found out that that money was not used to service loans to the Chinese. It was used for the expenditure of the Sri Lankan government. That is point one. The second point was the deal's accounts have disappeared. And this is there in the Sri Lankan media. Now, the very concerning thing is some of these reports have gone missing online. Some of the local reporters from Sri Lanka had shared these reports with me, so I have those reports with me. And I have a very in-depth report with me which talks about all these things. So as the panelist was just mentioning, that actually it's a matter of trust. And the trust is not there because there are very serious concerns, and those concerns are extremely valid. So the question that arises is there a specific intention behind the Hambantota port? Whatever has happened since 2017 between the Chinese and the Sri Lankan government, keeping in mind of whatever is there in the Sri Lankan media and the evaluation of the COPE committee, is there something serious to it? Is there something intentional to it? Is Hambantota port being deliberately given to the Chinese, or the Chinese manipulating larger state of affairs for taking siege of the Hambantota port? Those are my questions.
No, so Dr. Tarakarta, it comes back to, when the port was being developed. Obviously, this is the backyard of the Rajapakshas. It's their hometown. Obviously, they wanted to bring in economic activity. Clearly, then the debt trap happened, the debt cycle happened, and now the Chinese have that port on lease for 99 years. The Sri Lankan government says that India's fears that it could eventually become some kind of a naval station for Chinese vessels is overblown.
I think Sri Lanka is still a sovereign country, right? It can do whatever it likes with whoever it likes. Number two, whatever assistance we've given it as a credit line, and we are bound to help as much as possible our neighbors. But let's take it. Let's keep it. Speaking undiplomatically, you do expect a quid pro quo. You expect them to honor your interest. The problem is what the gentleman from Sri Lanka said is partially right. The ship is traveling as a civilian ship. Earlier they used to be in, sort of what we call move in dark operations. They wouldn't radio signal. They would be clearly a suspicious ship. Now they're not doing that. They're saying we are a civilian ship. We are indulging in research. So on what basis will the Sri Lankans tell them, sorry, you can't come in? They still can. Like you said very correctly, it's still traversing Sri Lankan territorial waters, which still, as of yesterday, is in Sri Lanka Navy's hands. So they have the ability to stop it, but the question is whether at this time, understandably so, they are probably in a huge flux themselves.